So, 3, 2, 1, 0. So, it's been a long time since I promised that Prank Kids combo video, and I decided that now it is time to go ahead and do that. So, obviously, I did end up saying that there is 4 basic combos that you should remember and 1 complex combo. And I feel like that would be necessary for us to go ahead and watch or show off for this video. So right here is the basic combo and essentials that are normally ran in the deck. Obviously the Pandemonium can be replaced by Polymerization. The Pranks can be replaced by Instant Fusion. And the plan is for later in the combo. However, with every single combo here I want to show off, it's basically the same thing. This is going to be the 4th card in hand so that you can resolve the Roxies. So the first one starts with 2 Prank Kids, the random card in hand, and a Polymerization. So this one's pretty basic. You go Polymerization using these 2, and you're going to bring out the other names for both of their effects. Roxies will banish and draw. I'm just going to use this card as the draw card, but you're going to summon your Rocket here. Now, in normal situations, if you're going first or second, this combo is a lot less useful because Nibiru is now a card. But if you do want to overextend, you could do that. So you activate Rocket Ride, bring back your 2 monsters. Since I use these 2, you're not going to have to go through other extra steps, but you go these 2 into your Dodo Doodle Doo. You activate your Dodo Doodle Doo and these 2 monsters, and you're going to go ahead and add your Pranks to hand or your Pandemonium. Since you don't have another Prank Kid card in hand, since let's say that you're going to draw into this, since you don't have another Prank Kid card in hand, you're actually going to go through a different piece. So these 2 are going to summon out your other 2 pieces. So from here you can go into Dweller. Where's Dweller? Right here. And then this would trigger, and you add back your 2 Prank Kid monsters that you added to your hand here. And then Fansies also sends either Pranks or Plan. I do recommend you send a Pranks. So you actually go ahead and add one of the monsters that you used here. So what we have here is a Dweller and 2 monsters. So you're going to use the 2 monsters here to go into a Bow Wow Bark on the other zone, just to avoid Mech Knights. Go ahead and activate your Pranks, you set your Pandemonium, and your ending board is Dweller Bow Wow. And then you're going to Pranks, shuffle back 3. It's normally going to be these 2 and this, or if you feel like you're going to have to roaster them, if you know that you're playing against Striker, you actually don't activate Pranks at all, and you let that go through, because you still have that 1 card that you had in hand, which was the Desires. So you can, during your opponent's turn, you go Pandemonium, activate Bark, then you add these 2 back to hand. Now you have your Butler, or if you, instead of adding the Pranks, you added a Pandemonium or a Plan, you just add these 2 back, immediately fusion summon them away, and then summon out a Roxies and a Fansies, and then link away, and then use to summon the Washer here, and then you use the Washer to summon back the 2 monsters that you just used, right? And then you go into your Roaster, and then the ending board should end with 2 monsters on board, Roaster and a Dweller. Like I said, this is the first combo. It's super basic because that's how it should end up going. But your ending board should always have at least Pandemonium and 1 or 2 Prank Kid monsters in hand. The next one is actually pretty simple. It's a 2 Pranked monsters, so I'm just going to use Fansies and Dropsies on this one, and Pranks, or any Pranked card, so you could have these two and a Pranked monster. And so you activate Pranks, you discard your card, and summon your token. Right? Now you link away into your doodle. Chainlink 1, the little monster, Chainlink 2, the doodle. It's a lot less needed for the doodle to resolve than the monster, because at least when you end up resolving this, if you don't have the Fansies in the deck, or if you don't have the Fansies that you used earlier, at least you can link away into the Fansies and the doodle into another doodle to search out the Pandemonium and then set up for the next turn. So since you use this, you're going to summon back Fansies, and then with the Resolution, you're going to add this, summon the Fansies. Now, on this situation, since they didn't Baylor you, you actually just activate this, fusion summoning both of these into a Rocket. So Rocket will resolve, or so you go 1, 2, so that you chain block here. And then this will send a plan or a Pranks down to the graveyard, and then you summon a Roxy's or a Fire from the deck. It really depends on the situation. I normally do Roxy's. You obviously need the 1 card in hand. So then you activate effect, and then you special summon these 2 back. Right? It doesn't matter what Pranked monster that you add back to the field, as long as it wasn't one that was already used. So you link away those 2 into a Bow Wow Bark, and since we know that we're not, since we're going, I always go and put it in the main monster zone so that nobody can go ahead and try and Cyber Dragon it away, so you can hold on to it for the most optimal time. Then you activate the Dodo Doodle Doo, and you add the Pranks in this back to hand. Now in this situation, you are actually going to resolve the Roxy's before you activate the Dropsies, or the Doodle, and you banish and draw into your second card here, and you summon your Fansies here. I normally summon it off the zone that Bark is pointing to, so that it won't end up influencing in the future, but if you feel like that's necessary, it happens. One interesting thing to point out is if you drew into 2 Pranked monsters instead of just a plan or a Pandemonium and Pranks, since your Pranks is already on the field, sorry, you're going to add another Pranked monster to hand. Since your Pranked monster is already resolved, what you can go ahead and, or if you already drew another Pranked monster, since you're discarding that, you can always summon that off of the Rocket, and then when you link away into Bow Wow Bark, you're going to have 2 other monsters to go into. So that way, if you did end up doing that, then you have basically a Bow Wow combo without, or a Butler combo without having to use your Bow Wow effect. So if they do have the Called by the Grave, you can activate the Pandemonium, fusion summoning these 3 into your Butler, and then you resolve your Butler. You activate your Butler, they Call by the Grave, you tribute this, target the Butler back onto the field, and you're pretty much golden from there. The next one is the Instant Fusion combo. So it's Instant Fusion, any Pranked card, and Desires. So you Instant Fusion into one of your monsters. I normally do Washer, not Butler, Washer, specifically for the fact that then they can't, then they don't expect they don't know what the Rocket does, so they can't go ahead and pre-Veiler that or something. So you use this, and you normal summon this, you link away. Depending on which one you do, you resolve their effects. So Rocket's going to banish and draw. You go into Doodle, 1, 2. You, like I said, always make the Pranked monster first before the Link monster, because the Link monster is only utilizable for later in the turn. So then the Doodle is going to go ahead and add this, and you're going to special summon this, right? Now, like I had explained before, in this situation, this is normally where I go ahead and stop my plays. I actually go ahead and activate the Doodle to add these two back to the hand, and then pass my turn. Mainly because I don't want to go ahead and get Nibiru'd, but since we're doing full combo, we're just gonna resolve the effects. So we're gonna summon the Fansies, summon another Rocket, or summon the Rocket onto the field. Where is that Rocket? Where did I put that second Rocket? Let's just put this one here. It's right there. Okay, so effect, summon these two back, Link, Bow Wow, effect of the Flame. If you get ashed, it's a lot less impactful as what it would be in the future. Fansies goes ahead and sends your Pranks to the graveyard, because this one actually will be live. And then that will resolve and you summon your water. You summon the last one. What I've been doing recently is if I know my opponent isn't main decking the Nibiru, I link it to another Bow Wow so I can resolve the last one's effect and summon a Fansies out onto the field. That way I always have the big 2000 defense to sit on and a Bark. But then I activate Doodle. I target the Pranks and a Pranked monster. Now, as you can tell, there's only 4 cards in here. So since you don't have the plan to work with, you actually activate the Pranks, and then you shuffle back these 3. Oh, sorry. You don't add the... you don't already have the Pandemonium in hand, so you add the Pranks and the Pandemonium. You don't need to do that. Or if you want to be pretty smart, you could add the Pandemonium and a Pranked monster, activate the Pandemonium, and then fusion summon into a Washer right away. That way you can start off on their turn, you can start off with Washer, target these 2 special, and then if they try and call by, you activate this, Tribute, target these 2, or target this, and now your Prankeds can't be destroyed by battle or card effect, and you have 2 Prankeds on turn for the next turn, where you can go off for your full combo, where you just link into Doodle, and then you go from there. And then the final one, the new complex, or simple one, is the Pandemonium, or the Polymerization, into Pranked monsters. You activate, fusion summon into Rocket, 1/2. You summon these 2 out of the deck, right? I normally actually go ahead and summon another Dropsies out of the deck, or another Fansies, because it's actually going to be useful. So you're actually going to link summon into your Doodle, and then you're going to go 1/2. Now, if you've counted the summons this turn, it's been a total of 4. And that's the necessary part to remember, because it's actually important. So you actually send the Pandemonium, or the plan, and add the Pandemonium, right? So if you didn't use the Pandemonium, you can actually add Pranks, and it's going to be pretty useful. Then you go ahead and activate the Doodle, Tribute, target the 2 monsters that aren't on the field. The 2 monsters that is not the same thing as the monster that's on the field. Or you can add this and this. That way you have it pre-set up so that you can go ahead and resolve the Bow Wow and Washer thing, or you can resolve the Butler and Washer. Like I said, it really depends on my situation, but if you're going first and you don't know what your opponent's playing, you end with this. Yes, it is in card economy, +2, and in theory, you didn't even need to use the Roxy's, but because it's a 4-summon combo, it doesn't waste pieces, and you don't waste any resources for that. You could have summoned the Roxy's from the deck without the Fansies if you know that you're not going to have to go into Butler. But just to be on the safe side, that's how that goes. And I'm going to give you a pretty complex combo that I ended up figuring out a little longer down the way when I started playing. So it's actually going to require Polymerization, 2 Prankets cards, a card to banish or 2 Prankets monsters, a card to banish for your Roxy's, and any Pranket card or a prank. So I'm just going to have pranks in here just because that's how that works. So this hand doesn't normally look good, but I'm going to show you how good it ends. So you Polymerization into your Rocket, you go 1, 2, 3, you resolve, you summon your last 2 from your deck, right? Now you go effect, special summon these 2, now you link away into your Doodle. Now you activate your Doodle effect and these other 2. Banish, draw. Right? And then you summon the... that was a mistake. Wow. Oh yeah, that's right. The Fansies has to send a water to the graveyard. Right? So the Doodle is on the field, the 2 Pranket monsters are on the field, right? And you're going to summon the other names, 2 of these same names from this. So since you use the Fansies and the Lampsies, you're actually only going to get 1 out of this. But if you use Fansies and Dropsies, anything with a Roxy's or a Dropsies in hand, you can actually pull off this combo ending in Toad, Dweller, and Bow Wow. But since I did not have that, I actually have to go with a different combo here. So you link away with these 2 into Bow Wow Bark, and then you go into your Abyss Dweller, you activate effect, you add back Dropsies, and I think Dropsies and you already had the Pandemonium hand, so you add Dropsies and Fansies. So your ending board is Dweller, Bow Wow, Dropsies, Fansies, and you have it set up so that you can go ahead and do the Butler combo. The other one, if you do end up drawing into one of Roxy's or Dropsies in this combo, in that situation, let's say that you opened up with Roxy's and Flame, you end with these 2 and this on board. You go and summon these 2 back. It's necessary that these aren't utilized till later, but you go ahead, go Doodle. You summon the Roxy's and the Dropsies off of this. So Dropsies is going to be summoned off of Fansies. Dropsies is going to summon Roxy's. And you go ahead and you add your pranks, or you already have the pranks in the hand. You add your Pandemonium. So you go ahead and Xyz summon here into your Abyss Dweller. And if you ended up drawing into Dropsies, you make Toad first. That's the only difference. Then you activate pranks, discard this, summon a token, and then you activate Doodle, and then you add the Dropsies back to hand, and you add the Pandemonium. So then from here you link away with these 2 into Bow Wow Bark. You normal summon the Dropsies, and then you Xyz summon into the Toad. and then you go ahead and you set this. End phase, you can actually go ahead and pranks this time. You don't have to, but you can. Do remember that you're going to end up sending a card off of Fansies, so you can actually target these 3, shuffle them back, and try and draw into one of your names, so you don't have to just rely on Bow Wow to get your Butler. But the ending board ends up being basically a killer to Orcust, Salamangreat, and pretty much any other deck that utilizes the graveyard really well. Pretty much, the deck's combos are pretty simple. I do recommend that you go ahead and you read